Good afternoon. We're holding today's meeting at the Dennett Road Educational Complex in the cafeteria, and there seems to be no public comment for the 4 o'clock session. We will plan to return to public session, however, at 6 p.m. Under Section 3-305B of the General Provisions Article of the Maryland Annotated Code, there is one reason the board will go into closed session this evening: to discuss the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, discipline, demotion, compensation, removal, resignation, or performance evaluation of employees and appointees or officials over whom this body has jurisdiction. Any other personnel matter that affects one or more specific individuals. Specifically, the topic for tonight will be 3-305B1, topics which include a staffing recommendation, personnel update, and superintendent contract. The reason these topics will be discussed in closed session instead of open session is follows. Personnel topic pursuant to 3-305B1 is disclosed above will be considered in closed session rather than open session because it includes a discussion of specific employees, which is a confidential employment matter. Hearing all of that, is there any objection to the board going into executive session? Hearing none, is there a motion to do so?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Jason or Rodney? All those in favor of going into executive session, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And we are in executive session. I'd like to welcome everyone to the December 12th regularly scheduled Board of Education meeting. Appreciate each of you coming out this evening during the Christmas rush year. Our first agenda item will be ask you to rise for a moment of silence, which will then be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by our student member. Thank you. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty, and justice for all. Thank you. I'll take a motion for the approval of the public agenda.
So moved.
So moved by Jason.
Second. Second.
Second by Rodney. Discussion about the agenda? Hearing none, those in favor of the agenda as stated, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The agenda is accepted. The approval of consent agenda, motion.
So moved.
So moved by Jason,
Second.
second by Josh. All those in favor of the consent agenda, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The closed session summaries, announcements, along with minutes, are all on the website. Certainly encourage any of you that are here for tonight's meeting. If you have any interest in any of those items, you can certainly find that on our website. We have started to do that to kind of get rid of about 15 minutes of time to help us, I think, move along. So our first and only recognition tonight will be the Simon McNeely Award to Miss Ashley Kitzmiller. And I have the privilege of reading a little bit about that award. Ms. Ashley Kitzmiller, Southern Middle School Health and Physical Education teacher, received the Simon McNeely Award from the Society of Health and Physical Educators, SHAPE. This award recognizes teachers who demonstrate outstanding innovation in teaching, health education, or physical education, along with active involvement in school and community affairs. Award winners conduct a comprehensive and diverse physical education program that utilizes the essential components of physical education as reflected in SHAPE. American National Standards and Grade Level Outcomes for K through 12 physical education and other best practices. The award is named for Simon A. McNeely, who was a special education teacher and longtime member of the President's Council for Physical Fitness and the United States and International Olympic Committees. Mrs. Kitzmiller has taught physical education with Garrett County Public Schools for 19 years. In addition to teaching at Southern Middle School, she has taught at Northern Middle School, Friendsville Elementary School, Route 40 Elementary School, and Broadford Elementary School, along with Crellin Elementary and Swan Meadows as well. Mrs. Kitzmiller has organized and executed numerous field days, family fun nights throughout her teaching career. She is the coordinator for the American Heart Association's Jump Rope for Heart, the Kids Heart Challenge, and serves on the Wellness Committee. At Broadford Elementary School, she organized the Mileage Club, where students run laps at recess and earn awards for running miles. Last year, she organized a collar run for the Southern Middle School team. In the community, she has been a coach for 10 years, coaching Mountaintop Soccer, Landon's Library Basketball, Oakland Youth Baseball and Softball, middle school track and field, and middle school cross country. She founded the Lightning Middle School cross country team. The Lightning team just finished their 5th successful season in October. Mrs. Kitzmiller also states is an avid runner herself. The team that she helped to create is certainly a pride and joy for her. And personally, I've had the pleasure of knowing Ashley since the first year she started, and she has been involved in the community in so many ways, and obviously all the communities throughout Garrett County. A little bit I worked at Northern Middle one time as an administrator. I could see firsthand the passion by which she worked with kids. She really enjoys her job. So congratulations. It's quite an honor. I know it's a very competitive honor, and to receive it, we're very proud of you. Congratulations. Like, get a photo. Okay, under new business, we're going to talk a little bit about our legislative position statements. Dr. McCartney will do that in terms of what we would like to see happen this next legislative session as it applies to education, and specifically a lot of it applies to the initiative that the blueprint presents for us.
So, it knows me. So, I'm only going to take a few minutes with this. The board members have already seen this, and I have had an opportunity to share these initiatives with our local delegation. That would be Senator McKay and Delegate Heinball. I also have spoken to the commissioners on the side about these initiatives. But our general positions are similar to what they've been for some time. Basically, overall, what we want to maintain is local control of operating our school system to meet the needs of the students and our community. Whoa. Okay. So, one of the big things that we have been focused on is the blueprint for Maryland's future. And what we're asking, or what we're supporting in this legislative update, is asking for support to look at weighted student funding. And I'm very pleased that MABE, our Maryland Association of Boards of Education, is also looking at this particular area, just from a slightly different viewpoint, but a viewpoint that could be helpful. What we were looking at is when the weighted student funding was put in place, it was studied for schools of 500 or fewer students. We only have right now 2 schools in Garrett County that have 500 students. It makes operating the school system to meet our student needs a little bit more difficult. So our initiative is to ask for some sort of waiver to be put in place so that we could share with the AIB and our state partners why it doesn't work for us and be able to move forward. Senator McKay and Delegate Heinbauer are aware of this initiative, and Senator McKay is drafting something in this regard that will hopefully be helpful for us. On the curriculum front, I'm a little concerned on this front when you look at the second bullet and we talk about grading policies, because the state is now looking at CCR, our career students and their completion rate, and looking at involving grading as one, the student grades is one of the criteria that they might look at. That could be problematical if they begin to try to standardize grading policies across the state. So that's something that we want to keep an eye on as we go forward. The technology, continuing to support the expansion of internet. We just had a virtual learning day yesterday, and the internet in all parts of our community is very important. I have found out that hotspots don't necessarily work for us because some of our areas do not have cell phone coverage. So continuing to expand that. On the school construction funding, what we're supporting is there's a lot of words there. The state's very much in line with us. One of the things we want to be sure that they continue to consider is the inflationary factor when we're in the school construction business. And lastly, autonomy. As much autonomy as we can keep for our local boards and for our school districts to operate our school systems to meet our needs. So these are the issues that we will continue to try to support as we work through this legislative session. Any questions? Sorry, my back was to you the whole time, Josh. Any questions?
You know, I think it's important to note too that Mr. Gladfeldy serves on the legislative committee with MABE, which is highly involved in many of the initiatives that you're pointing out. They're also involved, and certainly we're very fortunate that he is on that committee, serving as vice president of the committee, and that will give us some information very quickly.
I don't know if this is on or not.
So, good.
Yeah, and I think many of the things you highlighted in this presentation are part of the MABE proposed legislation that they're going to promote. And some additional things, they want to reinstate the escalator clause for the maintenance of effort. For jurisdictions that have less than a certain density, which we are one of them. We are one of 5 counties in the state that are low density population counties. They would put $250,000 in supplemental funds for those counties, and that was because Kent County got specific legislation last year to actually to give them an extra $250,000. So they want to make that available to all the rural counties that are lower density population. The proposal would be to take the foundation money out of the formula that the 75%, 25% split, and allow it to be used system-wide. So that would be very helpful to us, I think. Don't know if they'll go anywhere, but they're going to aggressively try to push this legislation this year. And I think it's got a good chance. we might want to work with our senator and our representative to support that legislation and amend it a little bit to help us in specific areas that you pointed out. So we'll keep working on it down there. I'll let you know how it's going.
I'm doing
It's on.
something
It's
wrong
on.
again.
It's on. It's on. It's on.
It's on. So I did speak with Senator McKay about the MABE initiatives, and once he drafts something, he's going to send it to me, and then we're going to sort of go back and forth. I think the good thing is that as different groups look at the weighted student funding, it'll become more apparent to our legislators that it's an issue.
Yeah, that has
we need.
statewide
Yes.
support from all the jurisdictions, I think.
Yes, but appreciate your work with MABE.
Sure. I'll keep you.
Okay, our next presentation will be the blueprint for Maryland's future update under career counseling and that program, and it's Mr. Heimball and Ms. Keller.
You were there, you had it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay, we're live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So Ms. Keller and I are here tonight to give you a brief overview on where we are with the career coaching program in Garrett County. Specifically, we want to talk about how we're meeting the major mandate from the blueprint, and that is how we're going to provide career counseling for all our 6th through 12th graders. So the big piece for us is that every student in grades 6 through 12 must receive individualized counseling. And so how we've outlined this is at the high school level, we are meeting with students individually, just like the regular counselors would, calling students down, having discussion. Those discussions are a little bit different from if they're seniors versus if they're freshmen. But what we've done is we've decided to, as a general guideline or a goal, to cover a grade every quarter. So in the first quarter, we met with most of our seniors. One of our seniors in the room we have not met with because she is in Bobcat Academy, and that makes it a little hard to get in touch with her. And also we do have some students that are full modified. So that's one of the motivations. We wanted to get to the seniors first because we'll have to circle back in second semester and pick up those folks. And then for special cases, some people have a lot of extra time over the winter break, and maybe she can come in and visit with us.
She can stay late tonight if you need her.
Yeah. So in those discussions we're having with students, it's just a matter of, okay, where are you headed? And we are, as you see in the slide there, we're trying to take a balanced approach. So we're not trying to push students into the college direction. At the same time, we're not trying to discourage students from going into college, but we want students to make decisions based upon their interest, their abilities. And so we really take a balanced approach versus going out the workforce, maybe a tech or trade school or a 2-year college program, military, and especially our state police. We work with those partners. They're in desperate need of workers. But so we're not trying to just major one college in these discussions. We also use our new digital platform, Naviance, to support these. And this is new. We are working on how to roll this out. We've got some ideas of using it during our intervention period at the end of the day at the high school level, but that's how we're trying to utilize Naviance. And then we also are asked to provide some career lessons at the high school level, either individual lessons or work with teachers that are planning units. And so all of those kind of go together into how we're meeting that individual counseling mandate at the high school level. Now at the middle school level, it looks a little bit different because in the past we have been asked to teach the career lessons at the middle school, and those are grade specific. So we are going to use those career lessons, and in those career lessons, they're going to have the opportunity to take those interest inventories, all the things that are there on the slide, personality profiles, explore careers that they're interested in, set goals. And then, of course, we're going to be using the Naviance curriculum to support that. If you look at what the AIB outlines as individualized career counseling, it is almost exactly word for word with what we have here on the slide. So I know there's a concern about us being audited in the future for this, and I think we'll be well prepared. And we're documenting what we're doing right now in a spreadsheet. If it becomes important later on to do that in Power School, we could do that. But we will have a document if Mary and I are asked, to provide some kind of documentation of what we're doing. So that's what we're doing for individualized counseling. Now, Mary's going to tell you a little bit about some just overall programs that we're doing in the middle school.
Okay. So for middle school, this year we were asked to do a 7th grade career day. Last year we had done a 5th grade career day and it went really well. So we're also doing that for 7th grade this year, where we are going to focus on meaningful careers that are available regionally. So things that are going to be available to the kids, whether they, decide to go far away or stay at home. We want them to know what's available here. And we've already started contacting some presenters. So I think we're going to have a really good 7th grade career day. The Real Deal, we'll do that with our 8th graders. That's the Game of Life activity. So we don't have a date for that yet, but that'll be happening. We do financial literacy lessons with First United Bank. So they go over needs versus wants and also savings. And then we do the high school tours with our with our 8th graders. So they will visit our CTE pathway classrooms, related arts, and AP courses. And then we also help with the 8th grade orientation for our middle schoolers.
Can I ask a question before I forget it? How will you make the difference next year with 7th and 8th graders at Southern, but not at Northern? How do you plan on changing that?
So
Go ahead, Mary.
we kind of operate separately. I mean, we coordinate a lot and collaborate together, but we're not always doing the same things at the same times. Does that answer your question? So we're
Yeah.
kind of separate.
It'll change, obviously, at Southern.
Right.
I'm sure it's going to sort of change your agenda anyway.
Right,
'Cause
right,
8th graders will be there. There'll be
right.
no
right.
orientation.
It might make things a little easier.
I would think it would.
Yeah.
I really would think it would make it more
Yeah.
meaningful.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess things will have to change as far as we'll have that orientation for maybe 6th graders coming up to the junior high school instead of what we're doing now. So it will have to be modified a little bit, but we'll still do something similar.
Yeah, as far as the career lessons go that we have talked about, we want to make sure that the kids on whatever grade level on either end of the county are getting the same thing. So Naviance is going to be a guide for both of us, so that gives us a common touch point. But I was talking with a teacher today, and when it's your classroom, and I'm sorry, we're going to go over time here.
You're okay.
When you go in your new, sometimes there's some classroom management issues, and so, I've experienced that especially at the middle school. You're new for about the first 20 or 30 minutes, and then things can get a little bit crazy. So it's nice to have an extra person in the room. Plus, we have lower numbers, everyone is well aware, on the northern and then the southern end. It's really not fair for Mary to have an extra 200 students that she needs to interview versus the number that I do. And so we're going to balance that, but we talked about working together on those career lessons. So I'm going to come up to Northern Middle School and help Mary as we teach those lessons, and then she's going to come down to Northern Middle, and I think it'll help us balance. So that there'll be some uniformity to what we're doing, I guess, if that answers your question.
Yeah, it was interesting because it is a different balance after next year.
Absolutely.
Okay, so Mary went over just some of the extra programs that we do at the middle school, and so here are some other things. So part of that individualized counseling, they get the one-on-one with us, but these are all the different things that we do to layer on top of that. And so once again, it's a broad brush. We're not just focused on the college, but for those students that are heading off to college, we take tours to almost all of our local colleges and even some regional. And we're adding to these as we go. We've also been trained on the new FAFSA overhaul, which is still not rolled out yet, but we're providing assistance with that. And then in our conversations with seniors, we do point them in the direction, try to encourage them to participate in all the scholarships that are available to them. I know if you've ever been to any of our senior award ceremony, I don't know what it's like at Southern High School, but at Northern, it's the same 3 or 4 people over and over and over again. So I have a goal, hopefully, to motivate more of our students to participate in that process.
I think that's a very big goal as a person, family that does give out a scholarship. Sometimes, we get 4 scholarships and we're told there's only 4 applicants.
Right.
And it's a little bit discouraging. To be nice about it, I suppose, but you would hope more people would be interested in competing for that. So,
Well, the juniors do come down and get to see that in advance. I think that's valuable, and that's what I'm telling when I'm talking to this year's seniors, saying, when you were down there and you saw the same 3 or 4 kids, it's not necessarily because they're the best and brightest. I'd like to think we have more than 4 bright individuals at Northern High School. I'm sure you have more than 4 Southern. So, just trying to encourage more participation in that. For our students that are going off into some of the career and technology programs, we do have some tech and trade schools that come in and speak directly to them. We've also done a lot of work with Garrett College's Career and Technology Training Center there in Accident. We hosted a day last year where both Northern and Southern students came down, Southern in the morning, Northern in the afternoon. They got to do some hands-on things there to plug them into our Career and Technology Center. For our students that are going right out into the workforce as seniors, we bring in companies that are listed on the board to recruit. We also go out and visit some of our local businesses, site visits, and some behind-the-scenes stuff. And then we're also responsible to manage the School to Careers program, which is kind of like an older version of what I think the apprenticeship program will be. And we're responsible to work with Brandon Butler to help grow this. I think, as you all are aware, you've contracted with Brandon Butler to sort of create the catalog of local companies and regional companies that will consider taking on our students. It's Mary and I's job to connect students to those businesses. And I know the blueprint has a very ambitious goal in 2030, 2031 of having 45% of our students in some kind of internship. So we've got time to work on that. And I think that would definitely be really awesome, but we've got a long ways to go to get there. And then not last but not least, our students that are interested in going in the military or joining the state police or the natural resources police, we bring those recruiters in to during lunch shifts and classroom visits, and then also set up individual meetings with them. So those are all the things we're doing.
I think Mr.
At the
Glotfield
high
has a
school level?
question. I think Mr. Glotfield has a
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just wondering about something. I don't know how you chose the regional tours for the colleges, but is there any thought about adding University of Maryland College Park to that? It is our big state university. And is it just is it a distance problem or? I was just wondering because I was watching the women's basketball game today and they had a youth day. They had all these middle school kids from around the state there, and it was a great introduction to the campus, I think, and it was the Xfinity Center was packed, and it was I just being a graduate at the University of Maryland, I just have to ask that question.
Can we go to the University, man? We were down there for a service learning
Yeah,
meeting.
we were there
with,
for a meeting,
students
but we would certainly be open to that idea of planning that. What we try to do is make our field trips during the school day. So those students that are in activities or for whatever reason can't do, evening hours, we try to make our field trips during the school day, but I'm sure we could plan that maybe once a year where it is beyond the school day.
Yeah, there might be other opportunities to get them there.
Well, yeah, but we're always growing our list of place we visit,
great.
so.
That's just wondering. I think what you have, the list that you have there is great. Frostburg, West Virginia, and Allegheny,
Right.
Garrett. But there again, that's my 2 cents.
All right.
He's
Yeah,
just
that-
afraid
that's-
West Virginia is going to out recruit him at Maryland.
Well, that's it too. You need help.
Final slide. So, just some additional things that we're doing. The Work Ethic Diploma Program, which is in partnership with the Garrett County Chamber of Commerce, and that's for all of our, not all of our seniors, but those of our seniors that qualify. We do recognize them for their work ethic at Senior Awards Night. So that's something we'll be starting to work on here soon. The Real Deal, again, we do that for 8th graders, but also for 11th graders. And that's in partnership with First United Bank, Raleigh, Garrett College, the state police, and some other local insurance and car dealerships and attorneys. So we do that. The Leadership Awards, John and I have been kind of put in charge of those programs where we're seeking nominations throughout the school for these different leadership awards. The Garrett County Job Fair, that's for all juniors and seniors to attend. So we take a trip down to the job fair and spend a couple hours. So whatever juniors or seniors want to participate in that, they're certainly welcome to do. The Power of Possibilities, that's the entrepreneurship program through Garrett College. And that is another one that we take our business students, we take them every year to that. And then we have Law Day at the courthouse where it's with the Bar Association there, and students that are interested in careers in law can go and spend the day and learn about those different careers. The College Expo, which we do every fall, that's where colleges from near and far away come, colleges, trade schools, universities, and we even had a couple different workforce participants as well. I know the state police was there and a few others. 5th grade career day, which I mentioned earlier, that's an annual event for us. And then finally, we also manage the student service learning program. So that's a part of what we're doing every day as well. Questions?
Yeah, questions from other board members? As a person who was in the system for many years, we've come a long way with this because as you can, the two of us can remember, Mr. Thorne would come around in the 9th grade and he would do an interest survey with the students, and you would leave there at the end of the day thinking, okay, he told me I need to be a policeman, or I'm going to be a doctor, or I'm going to be a teacher, and after an hour's worth of interest survey, you were kind of led a direction. They didn't have these kinds of opportunities. Nothing like this. It's fantastic. I mean, it really is. It's fantastic. We've come a long way from an hour inventory
Right.
to really giving kids a huge amount of opportunities.
Yeah, I think as we, Mary and I think have both talked when we think back to our days in school. We saw the guidance counselor, I did at least in 9th grade, and my schedule was laid out, and that's the last time I knew what the opportunities were. The opportunities for today's kids are plentiful. It's just a matter of, part of it's just getting the information out, but there's still a motivation challenge there to get them to take advantage of the opportunities they have. But they have a lot of opportunities these days compared to our generation, and for sure.
No, it's fantastic.
I just want to thank both of you for your work and for coming in tonight to share the kind of work you're doing with our students. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Greatly appreciated. Thanks.
Okay, we're going to move on to policies and procedures. This is the GAAD school counselor, school psychologist, social worker, evaluation, policy and procedure, first reading.
Okay, good evening. I am presenting this first read of this policy on behalf of Mr. Hummel. Um, This policy he's been working on for a couple months now. And if you go back and look at the history of this policy and procedure, it focused on the school counselor. And I believe, and it's not on the new version, but I believe the last time it was updated was like 1983 or something like that. And at that time, we did not have certain roles in our system that we do have now, like school psychologists and social workers. And so this revision is updating the school counselor observation and evaluation process, but also to include under its umbrella a process for social workers and school psychologists. So it is designed to be comprehensive under the student support side. Mr. Hummel has worked with GCEA and members of his team to get feedback into this policy and procedure, and it has gone through committee. So again, it's first read, so I'll be glad to answer any questions from the board.
Questions, anyone? Maybe?
There we go. I just wanted to say, Mr. Glockfeld and I talked about this at length during policy committee, and thought that what is being proposed is actually the kind of the best solution as far as what we're looking at, and to reevaluate it probably in the next year or two just to make sure things are working.
Yes, thank you. Yep.
Yeah, I said to Dr. McCartney when we met, it's incredibly good. I mean, it's fantastically good. There's nothing there that is left open to conjecture. That's the way a policy and procedure should be.
That's what we were going
All
for.
you gotta do is
I will
read it.
pass that along to Mr.
You
Hummel.
pass it along. All you gotta do is read it.
Understood. All right,
Thank you.
thank you.
Our Common Lit 360 curriculum. This is an action item for tonight. It's our only action item. And it'll be up for a vote. And Ms. Most is making that presentation.
All right, thank you. So you were given the information at the last board meeting on this, and just as a short review, this product that we're seeking is technically an open resource for most of it, open to all grades that want to access it. An open resource means it doesn't cost us anything for that portion of the program. What we're bringing to you tonight is the Common Lit 360 specific to the intervention that we would like to be able to provide for those students who do not demonstrate college and career readiness after 10th grade. So this program would target those students in 11th and 12th grade. The portion that we are purchasing is not open to everyone, and that's pretty important when you're dealing with a remedial student. They need fresh material. If you keep giving them the same thing over and over again, we don't get the progress that we need. It becomes boring and redundant, and it's just not as effective. So this particular product is what we are seeking, and we did put it out for public comment. There was only one comment received. I believe you have that. And that is from our dear Mr. Graham at Southern High School. So we're just asking for approval tonight. If there are any questions.
Okay, before we do any questions, Superintendent, do you have a recommendation?
Oh, sorry.
Yes, my recommendation is for the adoption of Common Lit 360 as an additional curriculum available for our high school students. Okay,
the superintendent's recommending we adopt Common Lit 360. Is there a motion as such?
So moved.
So moved by Rodney,
Second.
second by Josh. Now we can have questions. Any questions, anyone? Okay. There is a motion on the floor to adopt Common Lit 360 curriculum. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay, and it is adopted.
Thank you.
Public comment, Mark, did we have any? I don't suspect we did. No? Okay. We'll move on then to student member report. Haley, bring us up to date.
So for the Garrett County Association of Student Councils, our executive board last met on November 13th This was to plan our December General Assembly and our tree for the Festival of Trees that was Disney themed. Then on November 18th, myself and other members of the group attended the Maryland Association of Student Councils Fall Leadership Conference, where we got to engage or present student-led workshops, listen to roundtables, and hear a panel on AI and learning, which I thought was a really valuable discussion. Then several of our executive board members met on November 22nd at the fairgrounds to decorate our tree. This was a really good success, and we'd like to thank everyone who donated across the county. And as you can see in the document you guys have, there's a picture of it. Then on our second General Assembly, which will occur tomorrow, December 13th, we're going to have 2 workshops, one on time management and one on public speaking, and then a discussion on school culture and climate led by our very own Ms. Most, and some other fun activities. Some general student updates. Southern High Student Council is hosting a Christmas lights display every weekend this month in December at Broadford Park. Both of the Northern and Southern High theater programs have recently performed Greater Tuna and Mean Girls respectively. The winter sports season has begun, and I'd like to wish all of our teams good luck. Southern High hosted its Ram Rumble with Southern Middle joining them for the first time, and from what I can tell, that was like the first transition event they've had, so I think that was a really good opportunity for them going into next school year. Northern High also hosted its War of Classes on the 5th of this month, and it was a great success. The Northern Complex made several different Thanksgiving treats for Cherry Hill Assisted Living, with the National Honor Society at Northern High making Thanksgiving cards, and Northern Middle's Stars class making Thanksgiving turkey gift bags. Southern Middle hosted an ugly sweater dance on December 11th, and then additionally Northern Middle hosted a Thanksgiving food drive that seemed to go really well with local families receiving that donation. And then additionally, the only other thing I have is student member business. I participated in a virtual call on the 20th with some other student members across the state, and it was hosted by our state superintendent, Dr. Wright, with the state student member of the board, Abisola. We're working on a handbook for future incoming student board members just to get them up to speed on different board terms and how their role impacts the board, and also working on how to connect the state member across the state with other students outside of just student government. So.
Questions, comments?
Just one question, because I think it's a topic we're all going to be talking about as we move forward. Can you bring up 1 or 2 topics you guys heard from the panel as far as AI and education as we move forward?
Yeah, one of the big things was how educators want to see it utilized, because I think the general consensus was that it's going to impact education whether they want it to or not. So how they want to use it as a tool for learning, whether to hinder the learning. Something I had heard a lot was using it for ideas, but then how students build from those ideas to make their own thoughts and connections to different concepts. So I think that's a very valuable thing. I think that's a complex process to work through, but I think it's something that definitely will happen in the future, like you said.
Great, thank you.
Anything else? Well, you've been very busy. All the schools have been very busy. It's wonderful to hear. Board member updates. The only update that I will give on behalf of the board is, I'm sure each of you here know that we lost a longtime educator, Wendy Shoemaker, who passed away a couple of weeks ago. She had earned a BA degree from Frostburg University, an MS degree from West Virginia University. She was employed by us as a special education teacher, and she worked at Southern High School. And fortunately, I knew Wendy very well. I was the principal when she was hired at Southern. And for several years, she was the advisor of our Best Buddies program. And she also was a member of GCEA for 17 years and the treasurer for 4 years. And those of you that know Wendy knew that she was a perfect special education teacher. She was just, that's what God made her for. And she got along with those kids, and every kid was her kid. And she's certainly sadly missed, but she did leave a mark at Southern High School. I only speak for Southern. That'll be remembered for a long time. So we want to wish that family the best. I know that was a tragic day for that family, losing a mother and a daughter the same day. So our wishes are that their grieving will be short. That being said, any other announcements?
Just one. I had the opportunity to join Dr. Mangus on the ice skating rink for an event that Garrett County Public Schools
Did you
had.
film that?
I think there's pictures of both of us, and I don't think it's pretty with either one of us on skates. So, but great event. It was great to see the kids out there having some fun. So really appreciate that.
I also got great feedback. I didn't get a chance to see it, but both theater programs were very well attended and heard lots of great things about that. So doing good things there as well.
Anything else? Superintendent updates.
Excuse me, I do want to bring to everyone's attention that Maryland report cards star ratings for the 2022-23 school year will be released tomorrow. Schools are rated using a 100-point accountability system that awards each school up to 5 stars based on a formula that aims to measure overall performance. 5-star schools earn at least 75% of all of those possible points. Factors considered in the star rating include high school graduation rates, growth, standardized test scores, quality of curriculum, chronic absenteeism, and the outcome of school surveys taken by students and teachers. In Garrett County, across all school types, 83% of our schools earned a 4 or 5-star rating, compared to 37% of schools across the state. 100% of Garrett County schools earned a rating of 3, 4, or 5, compared to 75% across the state. Individual school ratings will be released tomorrow. Those are embargoed, so I can't share some of that joy with you. We understand as a system the importance of maintaining this high level of performance, and we will continue to strive to improve our academic results with a heightened focus on reducing our rate of chronic absenteeism. That's the area we know we need to focus a good bit of our efforts on, and we are really reaching out to community partners and parents and families to help us in this regard.
Thank you. Any comments? Anyone? I would be remiss in not also announcing that the board made a decision tonight that we will alternate sites for our future board meetings, 2024. We're going to alternate between this facility, Dennett Road, and Northern Middle School. So the January meeting will be at Northern Middle School, and we'll go back and forth during the entire year so that we can branch out a little bit to that end of the county. So folks there that want to attend don't have to travel so far to attend a meeting every now and then. And we're hoping we'll get more participation and get more people who might have an interest in what we're doing. With that being said, if there's nothing else,
Make a motion, we adjourn.
then we have a motion on the floor and a second. Those in favor of adjourning, signify by